Good. Okay, welcome to the Work Hates podcast. I'm Bron Lewis. This is my co-host, Brady Blake. Everyone has a work nightmare story, whether it's a dreadful workplace, a psycho boss, or an insufferable workmate. And if you've had none of these things, chances are the problem's you.
The problem is you. Today we are joined by Sashi Perera, comedian, lawyer, online sensation. I added one in. You didn't think I was going to do that.
Yeah.
And fellow Perth resident. Yes.
Yay. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for coming.
I got worried you forgot the Perth thing.
No. I never.
Went for.
No, I tried to riff one in the middle, and that was a bad idea. I had an air gap.
But it was good. It's important that you did the online thing because you exploded online, Sashi.
You're huge online, dude.
It's wild. It turns out there's a lot of people on the internet.
Yeah, but how did you do it? Just asking for a friend?
I'm also asking for a friend because my account sucks.
No, it doesn't.
Dude.
People love your car stuff.
People
That's
do love your
true.
car stuff.
That's
I've
true.
seen your car stuff. Also, people love your stuff.
No,
I've seen some of your stuff.
There is some stuff there, but I don't know how it works.
Fix
I
our
just
life, please.
I'm just like throwing shit at the wall, and then like some.
That is
stuff
what the internet
sticks.
is.
Yes,
Throwing
yes.
shit at the wall.
Yeah.
No, but
I
Sashi
agree.
threw gold at the wall.
Yeah, no, a lot of it was shit.
Okay.
Okay. We need to hear this inside. How do you
How'd
make
you
us
do it?
famous, dude?
But it's honestly just consistency. It's like you have like a whole bunch of reels lined up and you send one out every 3 days.
Every 3 days?
Yeah, like for me it's every 3 days. I don't know.
Okay, great.
But like some of them are really bad jokes, and the ones that go viral, you're like, what happened?
What happened? What are you doing?
Yeah.
I
yeah.
will put. So I wonder how you feel about this. I'll put stuff up and I'll be like, that is maybe the best thing I've ever done.
Zero views.
No one cares.
It's so sad.
And I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And then I'll put something, I'm like, ugh, I just like thought about it as I'm like standing at the kitchen sink. I'll just film it and put up 1.8 million.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
See?
It's just like people will post like this is one people were reposting it so many times. I had like people like, you know, it's probably happened to you, is where they take the recording of your reel and then they pretend they're saying it.
Oh, that's weird. That's not happened to
I've
me
had it.
yet.
What is it called? When they do that, it's called like
Ventriloquism.
no. They got a word for it on the internet. It's like called
like a stitch or a
it's a
duet
stitch
or
or
like the
something.
kids. Yeah, the kids
it's
have
a
like words
trend
for it.
thing,
I don't
yeah.
know what
Right,
they are.
but it was when that happened with like other mums doing my voice in like America. I was like, what is going? I never thought that one would kick off.
yeah.
So it's just about being consistent. Just
Consistency.
keep doing stuff. All right, fine.
I'm going to delete
make
this
one
out of
now.
here. I don't
All
want
of
anyone
it's
else knowing this
completely
trick.
random. Yeah, the secret is just keep going.
But you
Yeah.
you also got nominated for Best Newcomer last year.
That was cool.
Congratulations.
Nomination
Very
buddies.
nice. But you were so cool that you
Who-
didn't even turn up to the nomination.
No,
Who won?
I was.
Not us.
Not us.
Who won
Not
though?
us.
a
Isaac
duo.
and
Aiden
Aiden
Cox.
Cox. I've missed.
Okay.
There's a lot
Do
of.
you guys
Aidens
feel
in
like you're
company.
robbed? Do you want to air it out now?
No,
or-
because I went to absolutely not. I'm sure they were. I've never seen them perform as a duo. I'm sure they were very funny.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that when I got nominated, I was like so excited. And
just
then
the nomination alone is pretty impressive.
huge,
Yeah.
amazing. And then when I went to like the awards ceremony, and then a duo that were a different gender to me won, I was like, fine, that's fine. But if you won, Sashi,
Yeah, I would have been like robbed.
exactly. But I'd never seen your show, but I heard it was amazing. But I was like, no, she's my direct competition as a woman. And so, like, if it's someone's completely different to you, especially a duo, is that even a real thing? You know?
Yeah.
See, I would have gone like down the path like there's two of them. They're cheating.
Whatever.
Just
Yeah.
two, like,
exactly.
that's fine.
They had double
Carrying
the
the
brains.
burden.
They should get half the award. That's
Exactly.
crazy.
It's kind of a shortcut. Half the material.
Well, they're not even. But that's the other thing. Like, I don't think they're doing a duo act this year.
Get them out. I reckon
Anyway.
strip their award.
Anyway, so that's when, as soon as they were announced, Love and Dearly.
This podcast is about Bron getting out all her grievances, by the way.
As soon as that was announced, I was like, "That's fine. It doesn't matter. Like, it's void. It's not real. They're not together forever.
Yeah, it was
It's
also
like marriage.
my
where you're
main.
together forever.
Yeah, forever.
It never falls
Binding
down.
paperwork. It was also at 1 p.m., which was my main gripe with it, because I was like, I am staying in bed till at least 5 p.m. because my show time is at 7 p.m. The awards thing, it was at 1,
Yeah.
remember?
No,
Yeah.
we were going, what?
Thursday.
Why are you in bed till 1 p.m.?
Yeah,
I'm
5
an alcoholic.
p.m.
Actually, no, I sometimes
you're
get up at
not.
1.
Yeah, just for sleeping. Don't you get really tired during like festival times?
Yeah, it is exhausting.
Oh, man. And it's towards the
Someone
end of
gave
the
me a good
run.
hint. It's like you don't realize how much it takes it out of you. So just sleep as long as you need to. Don't load your day. When I first started, because I was broke as shit, and not much has changed, I was doing removal shifts during the day, so 6 till 5, and then doing my show at 7, and then fucking sending it at the bar, and then getting like 4 hours sleep. And surprise, surprise, got extremely sick at the end of it, the festival.
Yeah, see, maybe you should have slept till 5.
Yeah.
This is it. Sorry.
I think you're both weak, but I had I
Couple of softies over here.
like I still worked, I think 2 days just in the office, and then I had, whatever, the kids at home, but as if I could never sleep till 5. Doesn't matter.
Well, your kids wouldn't let you anyway.
No,
They'd be like,
they wouldn't. They'd be like, what? They'd call child services. I'm like, why do you guys still have that on speed dial? I thought we talked this through.
I thought I cut the cable, burnt the phone, threatened you.
Exactly. But I work with the place I work. There was another comedian who was who works at the same place as me in the day, and she took the entire festival off from her day job.
Wow!
I was like, what the hell?
Is she loaded?
Yeah.
Is she goes, how do you just not work during the day for your you just go out and you just do an hour's work. I understand that's not real.
Yeah.
Because you go do an hour's work and then you go do like a thing after it and a thing after it and a thing after it. But the day of the actual, when they nominate the nominations, we all they called all the people who were nominated for like best show, best newcomer, best whatever, and we all went and sat up front of the Melbourne Town Hall. And
I love this.
Yes, and Sashi didn't come, and
I love it.
Okay, no, but controversial. I didn't know about it.
Why did they not call you?
I never got a call or anything.
There was an email.
The first time that I knew that I'd been nominated was when it went up on Instagram.
Are you kidding me?
No, so that's why when everyone was like, "Oh, there's only white people in the photos," I was like, "Well, we weren't fucking told. Otherwise, we would be there."
Devastating.
Yeah,
I thought you were away.
Nah, man. Like
we really needed you for those photos.
That's why when everyone was really angry, I was like, "No, don't worry." Like,
did people fire up because there's no diversity?
Oh my god!
See, I'm not.
So
I'm so blind.
They
I don't
were
follow anything
furious.
online.
Yeah, there was a fury like no other.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like when people discovered racism during like Black Lives Matter. They were just like, ah! Yeah.
So everyone was like, what the f?
Yes, because it's photos. It's
wild.
like myself, Ray O'Leary, very white, and then Aidan Cox and
Isaac Hayes.
Isaac,
That's
yeah,
who it is.
there we go.
Isaac Hayes.
I think they were just and Andrew Hamilton. All 5 of us sitting on these white stairs. These white
stairs
faces.
didn't help us, but not even the stairs had
The
diversity.
red stairs
God.
and the white faces, and we're all sitting there looking at the camera. And in my head, I was like, "This is not good. This is not good."
Where
the fuck is she?
As a whitey as well, you guys are extreme. You and Ray O'Leary are like next level. Right? You're like albinos.
Yeah.
Pardon?
No. You're very, you're not tan. Like Ray's very pasty.
So glad.
I've never seen you. I've never seen you more angry at me than right now.
I'm upset. So the fact that you were nominated, the fact that you were
Getting back on track. We sound ungrateful. Can we make it very clear to the comedy festival that we're very grateful?
It was huge. It absolutely changed.
Yes.
It absolutely changed my career.
Yes, agree. Me too.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
But I really wish you were in those fucking photos. That's all I'm trying to say here.
What a long time, but we had the same one for our Christmas. Remember we had a Christmas.
Oh my God.
Every year, Dave O'Neill invites like 50 comedians to come to this lunch.
It would have been good if you were there for this one too.
But you got to do Dave O'Neill's Funhouse,
right?
And he invited. I think there was like 10 female comics were invited or whatever.
Oh, did he get smashed?
But they're all busy because some of them, like Kitty Flanagan, doesn't have time to come and have a beer sometimes.
Mel Brace.
Busy.
Yeah. Heaps. And so Bronny's there, and then there's this photo, and it's like 50 dudes. Because we've got nothing going on, and we're all alcoholics. And there's Bronny in there, and then and someone goes, "Oh, just don't post the photo. It doesn't look great." I think Hellier posted it.
Hellier was in charge.
Yeah, he was, and he posted, and it's just like. They're like, "Oh, good to see diversity's changing." Comedy.
Oh,
Like,
no.
everyone was, people are busy,
Yeah.
It was like,
but we really, if you were there, it would have changed the entire time for good. We really need you. I feel like what we're trying to say is, can you show up to every event that's ever been?
Look, I try. I really do try.
Thank you.
I understand how important the optics are.
Oh my God. And so when did you change? When did you start comedy? Like, we never ask people this, by the way.
Ah.
Usually we just go straight into like.
Straight into the thing.
But I think.
When did you
I think
transition
this is
into a comedian?
Yeah, the
Hey,
transition.
don't say that.
Oh, is that a bad word?
I don't know. But I don't like when you use it.
It's the mullet again, isn't it?
It is for you,
Yeah. Okay. No, it's good to know.
but only you.
Okay.
So, Sashi, you were a lawyer.
Yes.
And then you decided to do stand up. Do you know we were in the first?
I entered Raw Comedy in
Yeah.
like 2018.
Okay.
So that was the first time. And then the second time, the year that you and Alex Hudson won,
what? No. So
that was the second time I did it. And I was very jealous of both of you. Cause I
that
was
is
like,
very kind of you.
whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Losers.
Yeah.
That's what I would have said.
Yeah. So it was 2018.
Was it 20? I'm sure it was 2019.
Ah.
Guys, let's not get caught up with
Hey,
details.
Don't.
Don't
interrupt.
even. Don't.
There's two women speaking over here. Am I going to be silent for this whole podcast? Because I would actually love that.
You
I've got a
think
beautiful-
about other words that you should not say.
Which is at this point all of them.
Yeah, well, I don't know that many, so it's annoying that the one I have said is triggering. You were a lawyer, and there's so many different like umbrellas of what a lawyer does.
Yes.
Were you ever in a courtroom defending people and going after people, prosecuting or whatever?
So not prosecuting, so that's like mostly criminal law,
Yep.
whereas I did immigration law. So a lot of that is at like department level in the tribunals and sometimes in court, but I was really scared of court, which is how I knew I was probably not going to make it as a lawyer.
But definitely as a comedian.
Yeah. Well,
Definitely as a-
I've
so
done
I
very.
don't like being here.
I don't know if you know this. I've represented myself in court 12 times.
What? Get a lawyer.
No, I've won them all.
Every single
What
one.
was this
Well,
for? What kind
if
of
I-
offences are we talking?
Parking tickets.
And
it's also.
and you still got out of them. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, but the thing is, when you go, like, people go, oh, you represent yourself in court. It's not me saying, oh, I'm innocent. This is the reason why.
Yes.
It's, you know, when you go to the initial hearing with the
Yes.
judge,
Yeah.
and they're like the cops are there,
Yeah.
and the judge will go, how do you plead? And
Yes.
I say, guilty
But.
under the circumstance of. And then I give them my story, which is completely factual. And then
What's the best?
Yeah, what kind of stories are we
factual
given for
story?
like?
Facts.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, what's a factual story you
well,
gave?
the reason I was parked in a loading zone
Yes.
was because there was a little old lady and she had a stroke.
You actually brought a little old lady into it.
No.
That's
She
Yes,
brought
I did.
herself
No.
into it.
No, I didn't bring her in there.
Yeah.
I
She
didn't
had,
give
she had
her
a,
the
she had a
stroke.
stroke on the side of the road,
Yes.
and I had to get out of the car, and I assisted her until the paramedics arrived.
And they didn't care because I think you have actually told us this on the pod before. But do you think were they like, "Where's the old lady? Can she give us like some evidence about this?"
They haven't. Sometimes I have letters with me, but they're all true
What,
true
from
things
old
that
ladies?
happen. Yeah, you know, like no, my mate was wasn't a mate.
Old lady.
The pub owner witnessed this and helped me and
so that was
collaborated the
true.
story. Yeah, it was true.
Okay, well that's quite.
Yeah, it didn't happen at the exact same time the parking ticket occurred, but it happened that
Yeah.
day.
Don't
So
Look, the courts are very under-resourced. They don't have time to be
they don't have
fact-checking.
time.
No, they
That's
don't
what I'm
have
saying.
time.
Because
Yeah.
most people don't go to court to contest things. They're
No.
like, but the judge doesn't care about a $280.
Nah.
I got one for jaywalking, for fuck's sake.
No,
That's bad.
Jaywalking in Melbourne,
Not
are you
a
kidding me?
thing.
And
No.
I had my headphones and I just walked across a tram thing and it was on Burke Street and there was a cop doing, like he was explaining to younger cops how
Oh yeah,
everything
yeah,
works.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I, fucking idiot, walked in front of that and he's like, that's jaywalking,
Oh, he was showing off.
showing off,
yeah.
gave me a ticket. And I
Oh,
said,
God.
man, I hope you cross all your I's and dot your T's or whatever the hell it's called.
Yep, dot
And
your T's.
Dot your T's. And then
definitely what they say.
I said, I'll see you in court or whatever. And he thought I was joking, but I was like, no, I went. And then I said to the judge, I said, oh, look, I jaywalked. I didn't realise it was a thing. I'm from Perth. I've never been here before. I'm confused by the whole thing.
That's
your
not
head-
true.
did
Perth is not really a Perth is not really a thing. Jaywalking's not a super thing.
and
in
also
Perth.
Perth is not a thing. Yeah. Double. And but he goes, were you on your phone? I said, nah, I hate when people are on their phone. They get hit by a car. It's so dangerous. And the judge just went, like he's an old boomer, just went on a
yeah.
rant. These bloody kids these days, they're doing it. Blah, blah, blah. And I
Did
was
you
like,
have a mullet?
pardon?
Did you have a mullet at this point? I just need to know.
I tuck my mullet in. I put it into a hair bun.
I feel like you could write a whole document for like court attire.
Man, I always
court
wear a
antics.
suit, tie,
Yeah.
and I always stand up when they enter the room, and I always address them as "Yes, Your Honour." Mm-hmm. And because most people
That's what
don't and show
NCIS
the
told
common
you.
respects, and if you
Yeah.
get through that, you're 90% clear.
I mean, it's your 12th time round. If you're not saying yes, Your Honour,
You
what
know
are
them all by
doing?
name. Hello, Judge Judy.
hey, Brady's back, baby.
Just tucking your mullet back
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
I have a great story again.
Is this one believable?
So how'd you get into comedy? That's what I want to know. So you were a pansy
It's
boy, huh?
literally raw comedy. I was living in like
Really?
I was living in like a 7-person share house in Brunswick East. I was single. I really had not much going on.
And you
And
thought,
I
I need
thought-
to just go a little bit closer to the bottom.
Why
You know what made my
not?
life happier? Comedy.
No, but it really did. I'm so earnest when it comes to comedy. I'm like, I love the community and I love
Oh,
laughing.
that's
great.
nice.
Yeah, I know, but I think everyone's like, shut up, you weirdo.
No,
I
I appreciate that.
I do
Yeah.
enjoy. I mean, I shit on a portion of the community, like certain
Yeah,
people
the
are
shit
paying.
part.
But they know who they are.
But like
They know
this
who
right
they
now,
are.
I'm having a great
so
day. You know what I mean?
good.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
so you got into raw comedy and you did well, obviously enough to feel like actually I could do this again.
Yeah, I'm super grateful to like everyone I met in like the heats and stuff because I feel like I started at a really good time where there was like
Who did you bond
like,
with instantly?
There was like the producers of the Breast of the Fest.
Oh, yeah.
So that's
Oh,
how I
they're
went
great.
through there.
Yeah.
And then there were like the producers of like Ethnic City. So I came through like those rooms, but then
Great.
kept getting better and then moved to the main room. So
Great.
it's pretty cool. It was weird. Like we were talking about like how they need diversity in lineups now. And like
Yeah.
there were like quite a few people who'd just be like, oh man, it's so hard to find brown women. So like if you ever want a gig, like just hit me
They
up.
say that to you.
Yeah.
That's not cool. Like that sucks.
well,
I would
it is.
literally
It's
But
like,
it's kind of
like
good
cool
that-
and it's like
The other side of it, it's kind of good that room runners are now thinking about
They
diversity as
are,
well. So it's
yeah.
kind of that. Just don't say it.
But but you want
yeah.
also like you
I mean-
want it because you're good, not because you're brown. But then I talked to a friend about it and like too many wines and in too much depth, and we just got to like, who cares where you're getting the gig? Like just be
Exactly.
good, and then
Just
you'll
be
get
good, yeah.
booked for being good next
Exactly.
time. Yeah,
Exactly. I'm always, I don't know about you, but I on a gig and then it's like mostly all men. Which is every gig, and then there'll be like
I've never noticed.
myself, and then another woman on the gig, and I am like, please crush, please crush,
Yeah.
and when they don't,
yeah.
I'm like, so
It's all on you.
disappointed.
It's
I'm
all on you.
like,
You
oh,
now
no.
represent every female in the world.
in the world, in the entire world.
Yeah.
And it's just annoying because you're like, I didn't need another person to be like, you're right, they're not funny. They're not funny. And I haven't been trolled much, but do you know where I have been trolled is Perth. And
Of
now
course.
Perth,
Ah.
from Perth.
It's probably my brother.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And it's like a bit will go up and it's like a good bit. Like they won't put up a bit and I won't share it if it's like not a good bit. I was
Yes.
like, oh, that was not, they're very clever or funny and no one's laughing or you can't hear the laugh or whatever. But like a good bit will go up and I'm like, that went well, great. And then I'll be stupid enough to read the comments and there will be blokes going, this isn't funny. I told you women weren't funny. Women are shit.
Well, that's
Why-
just all
who's giving- yeah.
single dads or divorced losers going like, how do I get one back at fucking women?
Yeah.
It's like,
Boring.
yeah, but not to that extent, but like I get he's like a shit Hughesy, and you're like,
Oh, do you?
Yeah, but I'm like,
never
I
think
love
that
it.
way.
I'm like, whatever. If you comment, I just keep commenting.
boosts the
Yeah, and
algorithm,
I just
yeah.
kind of like, yeah, good, hate it. And then I
Oh,
like,
really? I delete them.
man, no, I keep them.
Oh,
I
no,
respond.
keep 'em.
I fire them
That's
up.
what drives the
You've been trolled
algorithm up.
Drives
They're
the algorithm
helping
up.
you. Yeah.
Because you've exploded online. What do you? So with trolls, you don't delete their comments.
I
You-
fucking love it. I like wake up just being like, who am I fighting today? Which
Oh,
I don't think it's healthy, but like it's been a great.
you're like
I'm not
Rocky. You wake
outraged.
up, dun,
I'm like,
you're in the comment section. Yeah, tasting a chicken
I love
and shit.
it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll do this for an hour straight.
And
I
also,
love
you're a
it
lawyer, so you're
much.
definitely gonna
Oh,
win. You know what I
you
mean?
are.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think it's that aspect where I'm just kind of like, I want to win, and you can never win because you like write a
There's
really
no win.
smart response, and you're like, and then they reply something really stupid.
No, I
But
hate
it's
them.
I don't know. There's something about it that I find really fulfilling.
It should be your full-time job.
It really
is
should.
Comedy and replying to trolls.
It's really enjoyable.
You should quit your job.
Yeah.
Speaking of jobs, what is the worst
Oh, we
job
found our
you've
way
ever
back.
had?
Yeah.
We always. I mean, Brady doesn't.
Yeah.
But we.
I'm just here for a good time and a riff, you know?
What is the worst job you've ever had?
Okay, so I can say this with confidence now, but the worst job I ever had was working in refugee status determination for the UN.
This one,
Okay.
oh my God.
I know it sounds really hard.
If I had
Yeah,
a dollar,
sounds
if I had a
hard.
dollar for the amount of guests who've said this.
I know.
Can't wait to hear an original insight on this one.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. Is this like the 10th time?
Yeah,
Obviously.
obviously.
Cody was crapping on about
Bev
it.
Killick was like, when I was a lawyer, you know.
But anyway, tell us your perspective on the matter,
I'm
please.
so sorry. I'll try to shed new light on this well-trodden path. But basically, when you apply for refugee status in Australia, there's like a whole system built around it in that like the interview's recorded, the person works for the department, you can appeal in the tribunal or the court, like I said earlier, like there's a whole process built around it. Whereas with the UN, because they're so under-resourced, when you go in to interview someone who's been waiting like 3 years for an interview, you have 3 to 6 hours with them. And then you have to decide based on that whether they're a refugee or not. And there's no recording of it. You're keeping the only transcript of the interview.
my
There's
God.
always an interpreter. And like I like got into it because I wanted to go work overseas. I'd been working as a lawyer here and I was like, I want to do some good. And then I went over there and I was like, I got to the point where I just couldn't sleep at night because I was like, what if I'd refused the wrong person? Like, what if
That's such a heavy
It was
weight on your
hectic.
shoulders.
my
And then if you make the wrong
God.
decision, either way is awful, you know? Like,
Yeah.
oh, man, I would be like, oh, yeah, everyone's a... Oh.
Everyone.
Yeah,
You
I
could
know.
all come in. You'd be the worst.
I know, I would be. I'd
you'd be
crumble.
fine.
But
Yeah.
good people like you don't, it's not a job you want to be good at where you're just kind of like, I refuse you.
Right,
you know?
yeah.
Like the lady from Monsters Inc. who's like, Wazowski, your paperwork's due.
That is who I would have been.
Exactly. The massive slug.
Yeah.
Oh my God, don't be the massive
Yeah.
slug, Sashi. It doesn't suit you.
No,
so
I didn't want to be
that
the
is-
massive slug.
You like usually we have people on who say like I had a dreadful manager or I had like in a comedy gig someone was mean to me or whatever. Yours is genuinely heartbreakingly
Well, like this is why I don't talk
horrible.
about it very often. I like ran it by my husband before I came. I was like, this is such a bummer. Like we're supposed to be talking about like light stuff, but then he was like, well, they asked for your worst
Exactly.
job ever, and
Yeah.
it was my worst job ever.
And did you, was it... I mean, it would be quite emotional as well because you've got 6 hours and then
Yeah.
people are trying to plead for their... Like, it would have been full on. I didn't even
Yeah.
know the words to use for this situation,
It
but it would have
was
been...
like, it was super full on, like, but that was at headquarters, but sometimes you go out in the field. So this was when I was in Turkey. So like you'd get sent out to a random rural town in Turkey, just you and the interpreter. And then you are conducting interviews for like a whole week. But then there's people with a line out the door because you have like the UN badge and they think that you have any power when actually you're like, yeah. So there was this guy who like barged into the office, fair enough, and was like yelling at me because he was like, my daughter's going to get her leg amputated because of the United Nations. And I was
Why?
like,
But why
Yeah.
was that? What does that make any sense to you?
no, well, it was just like, it's just, everything is just so under-resourced and they've been waiting
my
for so
God.
long.
Oh, so they wanna get a
the
better health
impact.
system.
Yeah. It's all just really difficult. Yeah.
So you're kind of essentially you're the person at the gate who's deciding whether people come in or come or not.
Yeah.
But you've got is there a quota you have to hit or is there like, oh, look, you can't have more than X amount. Or if you give everyone come in, then we've got to reject 10,000 people behind them.
That was the other thing. Like, so sometimes you'd accept someone, but because the quota had been hit, then like the word would come from above to actually reject them because they're like, oh, it's a rejection.
But you didn't tell them
like
on the
to
spot
put them-
you've been approved.
No, so
you're
you
just
didn't
like,
have to do it.
"Thank
That
you."
was even worse. Like there was no closure because like you couldn't be like, this is why I've made the decision that I've done. Like you make the decision and then someone else delivers it like a week later because people would get really upset. So
they'd fucking lose their mind. You'd be in a violent situation. Yeah, because it's so emotional.
Also, like depending on what country you came from, there were different quotas. Like it was all just like it was such a mess.
Yeah.
And I have to say, like the people that I met working in those organizations was like some of the best I'd ever met. But it was just like it was just a difficult
Because they're coming in
job.
with the right attitude and the right idea to try and make things better, but it just fucking sucks,
It,
you know?
like the whole system
Yeah.
sucks.
Do you think like what? Who was the longest standing employee there?
The office in Turkey was actually like amazing. Like there were some of the most dedicated people that I've ever seen working in really difficult.
Break it down.
Yeah,
They'd just be like,
yeah.
oh, forget it.
Yeah, there was also like national staff and international staff. So like the national staff were Turkish citizens and they'd been working there for ages, and then they'd bring in like international staff. And I went with like, it's called the UN Volunteers Program. So you don't get paid that much, but then they cover like your flights and some accommodation and stuff like that. So the international staff would rotate quite often. Like I thought they offered me like an extension and I was like, I'm going home.
No, thanks.
I'm a ginormous baby. I'm sorry. But then when you like...
You did your time. Were you there? How long were you there for?
So I was there for almost a year. And then 2 years later, like 2 years later, I was offered another contract and I was like, oh, maybe I was being a big baby. And then I went and did the same thing in Thailand and I was like, I'm going home and never coming back.
Never.
No.
I'll leave this
No,
to
I got this
someone
wrong.
else. This is a really hard decision. Oh, God.
Well, it's a hard decision as well because, I mean, it's obviously rewarding in the sense if you get people through, but it's hard to do the rejections. But then if you're not even financially remunerated for it.
Yeah.
What's that? Remunerated?
I always switch the N and the M, to be honest. Like it's either remunerated or remunerated.
Whatever it
You
is.
both have nailed it.
Yeah. Bron's a teacher.
both.
She's hating it.
It's both.
Yeah.
So
have you won a
worked
Corey
out-
Bron? No, thank you.
Have you had this on the podcast yet? But a friend told me there's like 4 components to a job. There's like the actual work, but then there's the people, the pay, and the location.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
No, we
think
haven't
what
had
made
that.
this my worst job was like 3 out of 4 were bad. Like the pay was bad, the location was bad, and the actual work was really like
The people you
emotionally
worked with were
phenomenal.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Brett's just started a job. I mean, you can probably relate to this a lot. Brett's just started a job as a bus driver. And Bretty, what are we talking about?
Yeah, how's the
let's
fall?
talk
Where are
about
you at?
So
location,
I'm
people.
not a bus driver. I'm a tour guide who's
beg your pardon.
driving a bus.
Cool.
So
Are they like long tours where you have to head out to like the Great Ocean Road?
Yes,
and
I'm
it's
doing
like,
great. That's exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah, awesome.
So, what was the first one?
People?
The people. Well, the people are variable because it's like a comedy gig. So
Yes.
I've only done one shift, by the way.
Okay,
And I had a
yeah.
good time.
Okay.
So I had great people on that
Location.
one. Location. It's Williamstown. So it's only
But
half
it's
an hour.
easy. Okay, it's easy to get to.
Yeah, not too bad in the morning. And then you got to drive to the Great Ocean Road. Okay, what's the next one?
Work. The actual work itself.
Work itself is fucking easy.
Yeah, great. I mean, you haven't
Great.
nailed
That's what you
the
want.
facts.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter.
It's easy.
And last one is pay.
Are there facts that you have to
He
give them?
has to remember facts.
Oh, that's so hard. Just make them up. They won't
Dude,
know.
I lie all the time. Do you know Melbourne was created in 1905 by Batman?
I don't know if that's right. Yeah, okay. I know that it
Well
was
done.
almost called Batman, but not for
Yeah.
the reason that
Batmania.
Yeah. Oh, Batmania.
I don't know if that's true either.
No, I
think
think
I've nailed it.
that,
And then
that
pay.
rings a bell.
Pay is
Is it good for the day's work?
fine. It's not great, but it's like it's that thing when you do. It's fine, but if you do 15 hours of it, it's good. So and I like to
okay.
when I like to do things, I like to do extreme things. So like,
Yes.
so you work fucking 16 hours.
Right.
So I like to work all at once and then it's done.
Yeah,
so I don't have
okay.
to work again for the week. That's
Yeah.
my
Oh, that's cool.
yeah. It's like I'd rather do 2 shifts back to back and then not have to think about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is your dream job. You've nailed it.
Well,
You're
no,
actually
being
in
paid
paradise.
to be a very good comedian is, but doesn't always happen.
And you are a very good comedian.
You are. I've
Yeah.
seen you
Sashi
many
and I
times.
have agreed
but
on this.
yeah, it's not always work, you know.
Yeah,
And I've got a big credit card bill at the moment, and I need to get some consistent pay coming in because I took a couple of months off anyway.
You
whatever.
did. That's called being lazy. Okay, so my last job was being a teacher. Okay, so pay was fine. I know
Yes.
that
What
a
is
lot
it-
of
what is it
teachers.
what do teachers get
Yeah,
paid?
what-
Is
what-
it
what
is
are
it
we
like
talking
90 grand?
about?
Okay, when I started, a graduate was 55.
Okay.
Okay, that
But
was
what
a
year
long
was that?
time ago.
What year?
2012.
That's pretty good, 55 grand, I think.
Okay,
Straight
and now
out.
I think straight out 75.
Whoa.
Oh, that's pretty good.
That's a good
Fine.
bump.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah,
It's
but then
hard
now you
work.
look
But
at
then
cost
do
of
you
living and
hit
all
a
fucking
ceiling?
whatever.
Exactly.
75 grand barely gets nothing now, doesn't it?
But you do hit a ceiling.
Yeah,
So
once
you
you-
just have
yeah.
to keep like accepting. So the longer you're there, the more you get paid. And then if you want like a big pay jump quickly, you have to take like head of year 8, which is dreadful.
So you got to be like deputy
Thankless task.
principal.
Exactly.
Gotta
And then
be-
deputy principal, you're not actually teaching kids. You're just yelling at kids and doing
Dealing with
paperwork.
parents as
Dealing
well.
with parents.
My-
Hell. So like the ladder is just like, you know, when you're climbing something in like a ladder, like just imagine that you're climbing a ladder, and the more like the more you climb it, like it starts to become like, you know, covered in dog shit, and then like
glass.
exactly.
Yeah,
There's like rusty nails, and you're like,
still going up, but it hurts more.
Yeah, exactly. It's dreadful. You never want to get there.
Yeah.
But people will like be tricked because the idea is you're supposed to climb it.
You're supposed to go up the ladder.
Yeah. So pay was fine, whatever. The people, I would say 30% fine.
As in staff or kids?
So low.
Both.
God,
Both.
Jesus Christ.
Fuck, there's some shit teachers out there. Christ, I
And
hate
some
them.
shit kids too, it sounds
Some
like.
shit teachers. Kids, but they've got an
Wow.
excuse. They're kids.
They're kids.
But then you work with like shit teachers. You're like, you've got no excuse. You're a grown up. You're just a shit cunt. And then so that's like people. And then there's like location. I was, I was in the inner city. It was good.
Mm-hmm.
And then was the last one is the work itself. That was mind numbing. Okay,
Right.
so
You hated it.
Right.
That's why you're on a
Mind-numbing.
podcast with me
That's
right
why
now. You
you're
sound
not
like you hate
teaching
it all.
So
no
I'm not
more.
teaching. Yeah. So but at the start, I'm sure that these were much higher.
Yeah.
Like for me, because I went
Yeah.
from being a waitress to being a teacher. It's all relative.
But
Being
yeah,
a waitress
it's
to being a
all
teacher, I was like, yeah, that's
relative.
more
And I don't know
money.
about, Sashi, when you came out of university or whatever, you know, you chose to be a lawyer, you don't think of those things
No.
when you're young. You're just like,
No.
I'm going to be a lawyer. I'm going to be
Yeah.
you don't think of that like, oh, what's a good work-life balance? What's a good money?
No.
What's going to be, because you're too young to think about all those things way ahead in advance. You're just like, I've committed to being a lawyer and I got a big debt and now I'm a fucking
Yeah.
lawyer. And you're like, I don't think you should be rushed into education or to a job straight away. In some countries, they like make you do military service, which sounds awful. But you've got 2 years to think about who I am and what I want to be.
How to
when you're
survive
17, you're like,
under
you don't know
gunfire.
fuck
You're
all.
an idiot.
Yes,
and it's
I'm
nice
still one.
to, yeah. And I think like if you can, like, you encourage like to go take a gap year to find out all that stuff, that would
Yeah.
be cool.
I mean, I took 3 years off, and then I ended up deciding to be a drama teacher. So
wow.
I don't know if those 3 years were a good idea for me. So have you ever worked with someone who's like, who is the worst person you don't have to name them, who's the worst person and why were they the worst person you've ever worked
Why
with?
were they the worst person I've ever worked with? Oh, I do. She was a manager and I hated her.
They always are managers.
They are. Okay, I have another theory, and it is that we're all insane. And
Okay.
the good people know that they're insane. That's what makes them good. And the people that you can't work with are the people that don't know they're
I have
insane.
no idea. This is
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. It's kind of
I like that theory a lot because I think I am
Yeah.
insane, but I'm aware
But
of
you're
it.
aware of it. I feel like a
Yeah.
lot of comics are. Like, it's like, I know I'm insane and I know how I'm insane. And that's
Yeah.
important for me to
Self-awareness.
navigate through.
So this manager did not know she was
No,
insane.
she thought she was right and she was crazy. And it was really difficult to work for her.
And
Guys,
then-
you heard it here first. Women are crazy.
Oh my
according to
God.
Sashi.
And so did
And
you?
that is how I got cancer.
So when did you? Has there been a time where you have walked out of a place or quit in a spectacular fashion?
Yes.
And hopefully it was with this woman.
No, it wasn't.
Damn it.
No, with this lady, I was like most of it was like online. Like I was remote working anyway, and it was really, really difficult. And I just had a conversation where I managed to like switch out to a different unit because I tried it for like 6 months. I was like, this bitch is crazy, and she has no idea. So
Oh my
I
God.
just
6 months is a long time.
Yeah,
Walking around
it
with
had a
crazy
really
person.
high turnover in her team as well. Like she was like, it's just so hard to keep staff. It's like,
Oh
it's
my
because you suck.
Yeah,
Was there
you're
any
the
specific like
worst.
one thing where you're like, if you don't know you're crazy
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
we can't help you? Like, was
Yeah.
there one specific thing?
It's
that
like
you-
when there's someone who like can't give you instructions, refuses to write them down, and then you do what they say, and they're like, "Oh no, I didn't ask you to do that," and you're like, "Fucking hell, man!" So I started like
That's
when,
exactly what you asked me. to do.
yeah. So when she gave me instructions, I like write them and then like send it to her. It's like, "Is this what you want me to do?" And then she wouldn't reply, and then I'd miss the deadline that she wanted it done by. So like. It was just you couldn't win. Like it was just.
Oh yeah, she wanted. I've worked with people who just want you to fail.
They just want you to
they
fail.
they thrive off being angry.
Yeah.
So they're like make you fail, and then they're like, "See, I'm supposed to be angry."
Yeah.
So you didn't leave that job.
No, I just switched to a different unit because I was
Okay.
like, you're crazy. And I think that's what comes with age because you're just kind of like, I think when if I was much younger, I would have just tried harder and harder to like appease her. And now I'm just like,
Yeah.
you're crazy and
How
you
good's
don't know
getting
you're
old?
crazy.
When we do lighting, like because I'm a lighting technician by trade, is my main job, like
Yep.
film lighting. And some gaffers, only 2 out of the 20, some are like the plan changes every fucking 2 minutes, but they don't let you know. Because in the morning, as soon as you get on set, they walk around and go, all right, I want a fucking M90 here to a bounce, this, and then there's a powers over there. Man, I start recording them. I go, yeah, because I need to know all the information or write it down.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I've done an elaborate setup, which takes me 3 hours.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is not how it is. And I'm like, man,
This is what you
the
said.
plan.
You
We
psycho.
signed off on in the morning. And when you
Nice.
wake up in the morning, you're half asleep. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I do the full plan or I record.
Yeah.
And then as I'm walking around, I do
Yeah.
the same meterage and go, oh, yeah, he wanted an M90 or whatever.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I've done a whole thing and they're like, nah, that's wrong. You're like, what are you fucking talking about?
When you have the recording, like, do they ever acknowledge it? Are they immediately just like,
No, I just
we'll
say,
change
hey,
it?
I just, because I got a bad brain. I said, man, I need to record this. Or I need to write this down as well when we're walking around. And they're like, yeah, cool. He's been efficient, whatever. But I'm like, no, it's because I know you guys.
Are the worst.
Yeah. Because you're like, no, I
plans.
said this. And they're like, so they look good in front of the DOP.
Yeah.
I didn't ask for that. I was like, no, you did, cunt.
You did.
Yeah.
Here it
Listen
is.
to this.
Yeah,
Listen
see?
and wink,
I'm not a psycho. I'm not going to go
Record
like,
stuff.
and then like rewind it and go, you actually said this. I'm
movies,
like,
you
yeah,
should, Brett.
yeah.
It'd
I'm
be
like,
really cool.
Nah, I reckon. And then when they know it's on there, they go, they're more likely to tell you if something changes.
Yeah.
Pass
Right.
information
Great.
on and make it more direct.
Look at you managing up. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
from this,
Yeah.
you will obviously know that Brett has quit in spectacular fashion many times.
Really?
Yeah, heaps of times. Oh my
fuck
God, so many times.
around,
Have
man, if
you?
you-
Okay,
Piss me
so there only once, and I was also a waitress. I was a waitress at Sizzler. Remember Sizzler in
Dude, of
Perth?
course I
Cheese
which
bread, are you
Sizzler?
joking?
Which Sizzler?
Riverton, High Road.
I worked at the High Road Tavern in
You did
Riverton.
not, that's
Yes, I
ridiculous.
did. That's where I got glass and the
They're
guy
right
used to
next
shit
to
in
each
the
other.
Yes.
They're right next to each
A
other.
dude used to shit in a pint glass every day.
Of course he did.
And the High Road Riverton I used to get so excited about because Mother's Day was sold out months in advance.
Heaps, yeah.
Imagine taking your mum to Sizzler.
Yeah.
Lots of people did. There was
Yeah.
a line out of the door
Yes.
all
Paradise.
the time. Yeah.
It was delicious
Yeah.
as a kid. I loved it so much. How
I'm
old
so
are you, Sashi?
excited.
I was like 17, so I was there
Yeah.
from 17 to 20.
But how old
yeah.
are you now?
Oh, 37.
Yeah, same.
Really had
So
to take a
there's-
second there.
Yeah, I know.
After
It's
30,
confusing.
let's not count
Yeah.
numbers. Yeah, we're looking
So we're
good.
roughly the same age, all
Yes.
three of us. Sizzler was huge.
It was
Massive.
massive.
It was like a
Huge.
Nobu for the masses.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
we loved it. Oh
Yeah.
my, and
The
tiny
cheesy bread
marshmallows.
roll, unlimited soft serve.
You could run straight to the dessert bar first, which
Yeah.
like a lot of children
and then you're like,
did.
Yeah, of
oh,
course
I
I
don't
did.
even like pumpkin soup, but I'm getting a bowl of it.
Imagine the amount of waste. Do you remember that crazy
I don't have
lady?
to I can tell you about the
Oh my
amount of
God, God, we've got a
Was it
lady.
just
Yeah.
tables of just full, like, you're like, this is disgusting.
There was also a lot of vomit, and it was never clear. Well, because the kids would just run straight to the dessert bar, and sometimes they'd like throw up under the tables, they'd throw up not in the toilet bowls and stuff, and it was never clear whose job it was to clean up the vomit. Like,
Brett's.
it was always the
No, I was cleaning up the shit in the pint glass.
yeah, he had the pint glass to do.
I can't believe you worked
He was
literally
that's
next door to
crazy.
me.
We would have been
That's
there at the same
amazing.
time as well.
Yeah, I was
That's
there from like, I think
hilarious.
19 to 24.
Yeah,
you would have been.
That's
That's amazing.
That's so cool. Pet
You
friends
should've- yeah.
forever.
I know.
But anyway, off the back of like some double shift, because like, you know, we were all so young and like everyone calls in sick because
Yeah.
like they're sick or
Yeah.
whatever.
And it's
Yeah,
easy.
hungover as
and
fuck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
just giving head somewhere. Like, it's just,
Man,
no
I
one's
never got any of this.
Yeah.
When was this happening? Was this at the Riverton? I was
you.
there.
Have fun. But on the back of like a double shift, I was really tired. It was like a Sunday. I'd worked all weekend, and this lady didn't get her mushrooms. Like, do you remember the sizzling mushroom steak?
Yes.
Like, yeah, and then she hadn't got her mushrooms, and she had, to be fair, asked me twice. And she yelled at me, and she was just kind of like, all I want in life is mushrooms. And then I was
That
like,
is- I can
I'm so tired. and just
I'm
started,
so sorry.
I just
But
started
also,
crying in the restaurant.
Oh my, you
her,
know,
Sizzler.
going,
You
all
were
I want in my
crying.
life is mushrooms is the saddest thing I've ever heard.
It was
Aim
so-
higher.
it was so sad that Sashi cried.
So she's
I
crying,
was
you're
sad
crying.
for her. I was sad for me. I was really tired. And I just went to the office. I was like, Roger, I quit, man. I hate
Roger.
this. Yeah.
Get the fuck.
He used to chain smoke out
here.
the back normally after he was forced to clean vomit because all of us have like refused.
I reckon that because
wanna be-
it's not restaurants are stressful already.
Yeah.
But that is a different breed of Patreon.
Yes.
That come
Yes.
there. They're
And they
like,
didn't take
and the breed is
bookings.
low.
Patron.
Yeah.
Patron. And
Yeah. Patreon. Different.
Patreon.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe, guys. We are available on Patreon. I see. I was like, yeah, I'm on it.
my
But yeah, like it's busy as fuck. It's high turnover,
Yes.
and it's like a lot of people just trying to shovel as much shit in their face
Yes.
for an hour.
Yeah.
It'd be the. I reckon that's probably up there with one of the worst jobs.
It was hectic, but like again, people awesome. Like
As in the
still,
staff or
like,
the people?
The staff
Ah.
were amazing. Like I got an email from like 2 of the dudes that I used to work with, and like they were like the last sizzler, because the last sizzler closed down like 2 years ago or something. It was
Perth?
very
Was
sad.
the last
Was it the
one you
I feel
Riverton
like
one?
in the country.
Yeah, was
closed
it the Gold
down.
Coast?
I feel like it was in Queensland somewhere.
The lady
But
was
the
putting
WA
rat
one's
poison in the
gone.
soup. Doesn't matter.
Ah, really?
Yeah,
Did
it's
that
an old
happen?
lady putting rat. Yeah.
No.
Of course it did.
Dear.
No, it's
In
not
the
taking
early 2000s.
anyone of value. Because anyone who goes there,
There was an old lady
who
who went
cares?
through, put rat poison in all the soups, and then like went and sat down and ate her food, and then all these people got really, really, really sick.
And she was just
And
going,
they didn't close it down.
And everyone was like, well,
Well,
you
they-
went to Sizzler. What did you expect?
yeah, everyone's like, that's your fault.
Yeah.
I'm surprised there's
Yeah.
weren't more poisonings.
Yeah. But I hooked up with my first boyfriend at like a Sizzler
Oh,
party, which
beautiful.
was,
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, my
that's
Lord.
romantic.
What
So
station
there's
was
a
he
lot of
on,
romance.
you know?
Oh my God, he was a dishwasher. Like,
That's
So you know he's got jacked arms, you know?
Waitresses do not date dishwashers. So it was a big, like, it was a real West
Oh,
Side
so you're
Story
like
going
you're
on.
upper
I
class
was
and you're
going
like, you know
down.
what?
Yeah.
I don't see difference.
wow, you're like Rose in the Titanic.
Pretty much. Yeah.
That's actually
Wait,
what
wait,
is
what
cheese
was it? What was it? I want to know this. What is the pecking order in Sizzler? Like, so obviously the boss.
There's the boss, but like they don't have any real power because they can't deliver any of the food. Like, some
Well, the fuck would they
management.
know? Yeah.
Exactly.
So the chefs were, like hot
So
side.
there's actually chefs there. I just thought it was
they're
like
chef-
17
No,
microwaves.
so they're
Mate.
called hot side, and so the chefs are like top of the pecking
Okay,
order.
so they're the cool guys, yep.
Yeah, so there's hot side, then there's front side, and they're like the hosts. They're like normally like all the
Oh,
really
they
hot
were
people.
powerful.
Yeah.
Ah, so they're all.
Yeah, so they're hot. Yeah, and
What
they
were
would
you?
normally date
You
hot
were-
side.
you were-
No, I was like a waitress, so
you
I
were
would be on the floor sometimes, but away
cleaning
as
vomit.
well. Yeah, it can't be the first face that the
Why? The
patron
beautiful
would see.
face.
Thanks, friend. That's really nice.
Yeah,
But,
well, I would
yeah.
like to buy cheese bread.
Yeah,
from you,
I'd buy cheese bread
even
from
though
you.
it's for free.
Yeah.
I would like free cheese
Oh,
bread from you.
yeah.
Up with free cheese.
I'll have one.
I'll
but I'm
pay
not paying.
because of her face.
Beautiful face.
Come. Yes,
Sashi-
anyway, so that's how I rage quit.
That is so. And when you said to Roger, "That's it, I quit.
I gotta go."
This is the end."
Yeah.
What did he? Was he looking at you like, "Yes"?
I mean, I think he was like, fair enough.
Yeah,
You are,
okay,
you are
great.
just one of many.
Oh
this
my
month.
God.
I like he's like
Next.
smoking still. He's like, take me with you. Yeah.
Can you please ask your boyfriend if he's ready for a promotion? Sashi, thank you so much for coming on the pod. You have been.
Thank you so
my
much
God,
for
such a
having
different
me.
flavour this episode.
Very fun.
Oh my God, loved
Usually
it.
it's just like car crash after car crash after car crash. This was just like hope that was destroyed.
Yeah,
and
that's true. It was
But
like
then we
this-
ended in like now we're knowing that we work next door to each other.
Yeah.
We didn't even
Yeah,
bump
we're
into each other.
discovering.
That's insane.
That
That's
is
pretty
insane.
amazing.
Yeah.
I'll ask you about the shit in the glass later. 'cause
Oh yeah,
Now,
yeah.
Sashi, you have a show this year, right?
I do. It's called Boundaries. Oh my gosh, which camera are we looking at? That one? It's
Look at all
called
of them.
Boundaries. I'll look at all the cameras.
Yeah.
Please come. It's at Trades Hall.
Oh, you got the
my
big one.
God.
Yeah,
Good girl. That's great.
Yeah.
Hell
That's a big
yeah.
deal.
I'm
Guys,
excited.
make sure you like, subscribe, follow Sashi on all the social media and check her comedy clips online. They are incredible. We will see you soon. Please jump onto the Patreon. Have a good night. Thank you. I've been fired from a lot of places. I've been fired from so many places.
I went into the class one day, real bullets, like real bullets.